Okay, let's go. It's the final countdown. It's the last day. I started with the puzzles, the intermediate from the Woodpecker method book. They are harder. They are harder than the beginner, and they are called just intermediate. It's funny because they are all from ex world champions. They were world champions at their times. So very interesting. I failed one, and again I failed to check defensive resource, so I overlooked that and did not confirm the line. So I got 8 out of 9, so not 100% as I wish. Then I went to studies. It was very funny today, the studies, because I really placed my effort on it, and I was looking into a study where I thought, okay, I'm going to play rook and bishop versus rook and game, which is always interesting. And I was, although the rook side would have a pawn, and I was calculating and calculating and so on, trying to figure out the way to win it. And I spent 40 minutes on that to discover that I was completely wrong in the approach to the study. So as soon as I saw the first move, I was like, oh my God, 40 minutes for 90. Well, it happens to us also, but it was really, really strange. I completely overlooked the possibilities of the position. So I spent in overall 78 minutes to just get a nice moment. Then I move on for the book. Again, the book is more interesting for sure. I think after the first phase where it was very boring, it become more interesting. I jumped a lot of examples because sometimes he was just being academic, theoretical, and so not very practical. But now the exercises are very good. The topics are also interesting. Today he talked again about the resulting moves. That is, we are calculating the candidate ones, then we see the lines, and something is missing, and we solve that problem. That all on the on the calculation by finding a resulting move, by finding a move that we were not thinking, that looks like an intermediate move but on the beginning. So that's very interesting, and the examples are very good on that. Then he also talked about how to calculate using zugzang. So this is a technique that I learned from the solving in style by John Noon, where he talks about how to solve two movers, or it is mating two. And one idea is to start by moving black instead of white. So let's see what black can do. And so it suggests basically the same, but to calculate variations to find zugzang. So let's look at the position now, but from the opponent perspective, what it can do. And many times we are going to see that some moves are not possible, and he gave some positions where we conclude that black is in zugzang if you play a passive move, and then we find those kind of moves like king h1 that no one sees it, and it's simply because black is in zugzang and we are just passing turn with using a passive move. So again, interesting, and deserving probably more respect from me. But yes, the beginning was a bit boring. And also I see that I never done the effort to read a book going through all the position thinking, because it's probably slow, or I'm not skilled, because the positions are really difficult for me, the examples given. Of course I understand the concept after he explains, but on the beginning it's not easy. uh, then we went to game analysis. I went to game analysis. Not an interesting game today, just small positional stuffs and a bit of tactics, but nothing special. Then skill assessment. Chess.com, I got 5 on 5, but I really spent a lot of time in one of the last ones, and I am happy because I have found it, but was not perfect because I should calculate it all from the beginning. And the only conclusion I had was the first move to make, so I was sure that was the only one giving opportunities, because I calculated the other two possible ones and they were not working at all. So I was a bit lucky in the end. But okay, 5 on 5, it's good for finishing the challenge. Then, like I streak, I was thinking, okay, I will spend here more time, although it's late. It's past 11 p.m. at the moment. So it is what it is. If you want to complete the challenge, you need to work it all until the end, and no excuses. Basically, no excuses. And okay, I calculate the line, and then I conclude, okay, but in the end, I also go with the bishop with a rook, and so I will play rook against bishop. Of course, it's winning for white, and I decided to go directly to the rook and play with one piece up. And somehow Lichess didn't agree and failed my Lichess trick. I am not seeing exactly. Okay, I can even see over here because I have the position on the screen. Let me just go back one and let me see. Okay, okay, something is wrong because okay, I got my queen attacked. Okay, again, forgetting to look at the position well. So it was a big blunder, a big rookie blunder. So I have to work. That's one thing that I am for sure. Besides needing to choose a better collection of a player for combination, for study that, because I failed that again. I failed on the first time I did this challenge with Icaro Games. I failed again now with Carson. Not their fault, but my choice of games was not the one that gave me games to really practice calculation. And the other thing is I'm playing Lichess trick like I am playing Bullet, so not thinking a lot, not keeping the concentration in the long run, and that's a payoff that I also see sometimes in my games. Where, especially if the opponent plays fast, I tend to play fast also, not think well, and then suddenly I miss one piece or one tactic, or I lose because I never saw the threats and so on. So it was fun, 21 days, and I'll start tomorrow compiling this everything, trying to do a series about this. Hope you enjoy and see you in future videos. Bye bye.